Open the gates and see the day. Newsies has turned 25 today. Hey everybody, it's Andy Knode, and today Newsies has turned 25 years old. This is hard to believe. You know, as I get older, I'm more often faced with the fact that some of the movies and the TV shows that I grew up with when I was younger are now hitting their 20th or 25th birthday. And Newsies is the next one on the chart. I remember very distinctly seeing this movie as a youngster, renting it at the video store and bringing it home and watching this. It was another movie in the long list of categories of movies that made me want to be those characters. I wanted to be a newsie when I was younger. At the very least, I wanted to be an orphan on the streets of New York. Neither one happened, unfortunately. But I also think that this is a movie that made me fall in love with musical theater. I really think, as I trace back, that this is one of the early movies or earliest movies that I can remember seeing, other than some Disney animated movies that had singing in it. One of the first live action movies that I saw singing in that I can remember, that I'm sure had something to do with my invested interest in musical theater. So in honor of the Newsies' 25th anniversary, my wife Mary Beth and I decided to go back, pop in the DVD, pour a little glass of wine, and watch Newsies. To Newsies.
To Newsies. And Christian Bale.
You ready?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm so ready because I just keep remembering all these parts.
I know. Well, we're going to see them for
Brooklyn!
Until one day, all that changed.
You're allowed to sing along at some point?
You can do whatever you want. One of the things that struck me most about watching it now is that we still remembered the songs, the lyrics of the songs and lines of dialogue from there.
When does he say you gotta live and die here? When does he say a guy can't catch a break? Why should you only take what you're given? Why should you spend your whole life living trapped when there ain't no future? Even at 17.
17.
We're a union
Just by saying so.
and the world will know.
Never fear, Brooklyn is here.
Brooklyn is here.
It's Brooklyn!
Brooklyn! Brooklyn!
New York, either dead or dreaming. Look at that lake with my face beaming. Tomorrow they may wrap fishes in it, but I will just stop on one whole minute.
Now, I did have the soundtrack on cassette tape.
Oh gosh.
Did you have the soundtrack?
No.
Guess you weren't a real fan.
I just would watch the movie. I'm pretty sure I had this on VHS.
Now, I didn't realize until after we got into the movie that Mary Beth was apparently a much bigger fan of the movie than I think I ever was. And I thought I was a huge fan. Is that kind of the best bit?
They do one in here. Okay, also here's a trivia fact for you. Most people think his name is Scott Collins.
Spot Collins.
No, Spot Conlon.
Conlon?
Spot Conlon.
I knew his name was Spot. Conlon?
Conlon. But everyone's like, oh, Spot Collins. I'm like, well, clearly you don't love the movie because you would know his name is Spot Conlon.
That's the determining factor if you love the movie.
Yeah.
At the end of the movie, we had differing thoughts on whether or not the movie withstood the test of time. But to me, it's so hard to gauge when a movie like this, or any show or movie of this nature that I grew up on, that I had such fond memories of as a child, it's hard to gauge it now through the lens of modern technology and modern filmmaking and storytelling, to be able to tell whether or not it's truly a great movie or if I just remember it.
I mean, it's so ridiculous, which is what makes it so good. Like, I've said 9 million. It's not a good movie.
I don't think it's awful.
I mean, it's not a good movie. There's some plot
It's
holes.
enjoyable.
There's some plot holes. It's charming.
I'm not even sure if when I was younger, if I appreciated that it for being such a great cinematic piece of movie. Cinematic piece of movie. Or whether or not it was just that it was so much fun. It was kids that were a little bit older than me, but it was kids singing and dancing out in the streets, and it was fun to watch it. It was very enjoyable to sit back, be transported back to being a kid in the 90s. And I have to say that it honestly ages pretty well because, partway through I realized that it looks very much like a Disney movie, which has a very classic kind of look. The way that the lighting and just the design and the camera movements and everything work together to make it feels a lot like a Disney movie that I don't think I realized at the time. And because it's a timepiece, because it doesn't take place in the 90s, but it takes place in the 1890s, I think that it doesn't show its age all that much. It is hard to believe that this movie is now 25 years old. So happy birthday, Newsies. Welcome to being a quarter of a century old. Whew. I tip my spoon cap to you. So it was a blast to take a trip down memory lane with my wife and reconnect on something that we both enjoyed as children, obviously before we ever knew each other. And quite frankly, to learn that even though I thought I was a huge Newsies fan, I think she's got me beat. Has he done something else?
The brother or him?
Him.
Yeah, I can see why. You probably think he's Kirk Cameron.
No, I don't think he's Kirk Cameron. As always, thanks for watching. I'm Andy Knode, and if you have a memory of watching Newsies when you were a kid, or have seen it recently, leave a comment below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time, right here.